everyone, it's Roseline and you're watching another movie of the week, and the movie of this week was Gone Girl from 2014. So if you haven't watched it yet, watch it now. And if this is your first time watching movie of the week, basically every week there's a new movie and I talk about it here and you guys can comment about it. At the end of every video I will say the movie for next week. So Gone Girl is a movie for this week. Watch it now if you haven't. It's my second time watching this movie, and definitely because I knew it was gonna happen. Definitely changes. I think that's with any like mystery, especially murder mystery. You know, your second time watching it, if you know what happens, you have a different look, you have a different perspective. Also, I want to add that Gone Girl is based off a book that I did not read. So I also didn't know it was gonna happen my first time watching it, but this time I did know it was gonna happen, you know, couldn't remember exactly all the details. I would like to add that I think her name is Rosamund, you know, Amy, and then Ben Affleck, who is, I think his character's name is Nick. I feel like these two actors have zero chemistry. Like, obviously they're great actors on their own, and obviously with other actors they have chemistry, but these two people together have no chemistry. And you would think that they would want to hire people with chemistry, but maybe it was done on purpose, the fact that they had no chemistry. Also, I want to add that Rosamund, I don't know, because I've only seen her in a couple other movies. I think I'm pronouncing her name wrong, I'm so sorry, but her like her voice, it's just like, it's so particular, and it's so like unique, but it's like, I feel like it's a voice you hear in like the 40s or 50s, not like the 21st century or something. So it's just like, it doesn't feel right. And I don't know if that's like her actual voice or just a voice she was doing in this movie. I really should have known, but it just doesn't feel right. And I did see something about this movie that the reason that, you know, with her, like, you can't really tell her age. Like, I know I once read something like that, like, where the director or casting director, whoever, was thinking, like, you know, with her, like, there's something about her that's, like, hard to tell her age. Like, she could, you know, play someone in her 20s and play someone in her 40s, and that's kind of why when she went away, or disappeared, whatever, like, she was kind of aged herself up in a way. I like to also add, this is spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, watch it. I think what was interesting about this movie is, I mean, I don't know, I didn't read the book, but so I'm gonna base it all off of the movie, but how they did it is, you know, you're kind of at first like not sure what's happening. You're like going along with like the husband, Ben Affleck's character. It is Ben Affleck, right? I'm not messing this up. Who knows? And he just realizes his wife's missing, and you're just kind of going along where he's just going along, and then they're like she's really missing, like the police are involved and they're investigating, and there's this whole point where there's clues, and so you're kind of seeing it through his perspective, but the only points you get of her is from like flashbacks being, we're gonna come back to that in a second, but so you're not really seeing her, and so, you know, us as viewers, we also think, oh, maybe she's dead, but then you also don't hear like that, you also like hear him and his sister like kind of not talking that great about her, so there's moments of that, and then you know, clues go on and on, and it gets revealed that he's having an affair, and it just kind of seems like shut and closed, and then you realize that she's alive and that she actually staged this whole thing to, like, she made it look like she was killed. And my first time watching that, I was like, wow, like, I didn't see that coming. I didn't even think there was a possibility, but that's kind of the whole premise of this, is that she, you know, had this whole thing planned out where it's going to have it so that it would be that it looked like her husband killed her, and but then she's not, and it turns out all those, as I said, flashbacks, you know, this time I was like, what if they are flashbacks? But, you know, through the dialogue, you really learn, like, it's just diary notes, and that it really, most of it is probably made up. Which I was kind of thinking when I was rewatching it, like, should I brought up, like, did it need flashbacks? Was the flashbacks confusing? You know, they had, like, it says, like, 2 days after she was gone or disappearance or whatever, and, like, they don't have that for the flashbacks. But I think maybe there's especially a point of that, of not saying, okay, this was, like, 3 years ago or whatever, because the whole point is that it probably didn't happen. I think, I mean, I didn't feel like it was that important this time, but I think I felt more important the first time when he does have that interview, and then he, like, makes that, not really speech, but, like, he's talking to Amy, and then you see her and she's so entranced with it, and I didn't really realize, I think maybe I realized it more the first time, but this time I was a little bit confused. But I guess, like, because she saw him speaking to her, that's, like, made her want to go back, and that's why it made her stage. Like, I think if he didn't make that speech, would she have just, like, lived with Neil Patrick Harris's character as long as she could? Like, would she have done that? Or, you know, she was planning eventually to kill herself, but that was when she saw money and the plans were going to be different and whatever. But I think she staged this whole thing with Neil Patrick Harris character to give a whole explanation, and then, you know, she went home, and it was this whole thing, big thing. But it just, I just want to touch on this one point, is that you know, in the end, you know, as if we were living in that world, you know, it would be like this whole case people were following, whereas, like, this wife went disappearing, and all the evidence points that the husband did it, and then it turns out it was someone else, and now they're a happy couple. That's what we as the world would see in this universe. But, you know, the whole truth is that she actually, like, set it all up so that it would look like her husband killed her. And so I think it kind of brings up this idea of there's actually a whole other story that, like, we don't know about. And so maybe that's true to all these other cases in our actual world, in our actual life, where we don't know, like, maybe there's a whole other story. And it's kind of like, because other than, like, you think the flashbacks show their relationship because that's really the only time we really see each other, but that's actually all fake. The only time we actually see each other being really together is at the end. And so it's kind of this thing where I didn't realize this the first time, but I really realized this time watching. It's like, what was their relationship actually like? You know, because through her perspective in the diary, which was all fake, you know, the way he treated her, like I don't think that was right. But, you know, how he's talking in a way that, like, she did those things, like, I don't know, it's also right. And so you're kind of still more on the guy's side. And then you also see when like, she comes back home, like, she, like, wants him to tuck him in the night, but he, like, locks the doors and, like, can't sleep. Like, he's very scared of her. And but then you see that he does, like, get mad at her and, like, push her against the wall. And, you know, that action didn't feel like something, like, his first time doing it, and it just seemed like brushed off, like it happens all the time. So although, like, you think, okay, actually things are the opposite, like, you know, she treats him awful, blah 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 blah, like, there's pretty good evidence that he actually does that, and they both treat each other opposite, like, each other awful. And I think the difference is that, like, they both treat each other awful, they're both bad people, but I think she's more psychotic than he is. Like, she is a sociopath or psychotic or all those things they were saying about him, and then because she, you know, she just planned this whole thing for her husband that he wouldn't have done. Like, yes, he did bad things, like he cheated on her, he wanted a divorce, but, like, he wasn't doing these psychotic things like she was. And then she even was, like, planning on killing herself because it's just to, like, make sure he gets defunded and he gets away, you know, like, whatever the plan would be. Just, like, it's like, you know, it's psychotic, that's psychotic behavior. And also when she did kill Neil Patrick Harris character, it was like really like, it's not necessarily natural to her, but like it just was quick and easy, and like she didn't care and everything else she did. And also like I think that when she first goes to the hotel room and she like smashes her face in, like there's no reason to do that. There is no reason to do that. So definitely more psychotic behavior from her. But I think why I wanted to have this film as one of the movie of the weeks is because I think it is a really good mystery movie, because you know, it's, I feel like mystery or murder mystery movies are the one kind of movies that are kind of the easiest to predict. And so that's why I kind of like this, like stuff like this, and like Knives Out, where it's like, you know, you're actually like, you couldn't predict it, like it's actually unique and stuff. And so definitely my first time watching it, I was definitely like, didn't see it was coming, that like it was very crazy start and end, and still questions like, we don't know what their real relationship was like and everything. So I think it's important to, as filmmakers, to study the art of mysteries and murder mysteries. Well, someone did get murdered, but like the main person wasn't actually murdered. So, but I think it's important to study these as people who study film, because we can learn from them and learn if we ever want to make a mystery movie of not doing cliches and kind of going outside the box, as I feel like this film did. But then again, it was based off a book, so I'd probably read the book. But these are my thoughts and feelings about Gone Girl, so please comment below if you agree or disagree. I probably forgot some things. I know that they shut down movie production for like a day or something, because they wanted him to wear like a Yankees hat, and he didn't want to wear a Yankees hat, and that's why they settled with the Mats hat, you know, the scene in the airport. So I did hear that story. But yeah, comment below thoughts and feelings. And then the movie for next week is it's just whatever, The Devil Wears Prada from 2006. So I don't know if it's the or without the, but The Devil Wears Prada from 2006. So watch it for next week and comment your thoughts from Gone Girl below. And thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and bye.